やけどしても知らぬぞ。
Yo, what's good? Lad here. We're back with the second summer traveler for this year. Mommy Tatloch is making her reappearance. She's back with those humongous apples, as you can see in this picture here. EX Tatloch is a dark thief that focuses on dealing elemental dark damage, all while exploiting dagger weaknesses. She is our first introduction to the weakness status effect. Her abilities inflict dark weakness, which then puts a counter onto the enemy that acts like a weak spot with dark attacks, even if the enemy is not weak to dark. Any sort of dark attacks will lower the enemy's shields and also grant the same damage multiplier. To enemies that are already weak to sad weakness implant, that character gets a 20% damage increase for each weakness implant counter. That explanation out of the way, EX Tatloch is the start of the dark elemental meta. Unfortunately, it's not going to last long. With her appearance and a certain character in a collaboration that's coming near, dark elemental damage will finally receive the love that it gets. Let's go ahead and check out Mommy Tatloch. Miyuki Sawashiro is her VA. Shinan from SAO and Daki from Demon Slayer are two that I recognize. She's also the same VA for the OG Tatloch. With that said, let's go ahead and move on to her notable damaging skills. Her first attack is an SP cost of 54. It's a 3-hit random target dark elemental attack that exploits dagger, potency of 65, and also gives a 15% dark resist down for 2 turns for each hit. Her second ability is an SP cost of 87 that becomes 70 later. It's a 3x dark weakening and then a 3-hit dark single target dark elemental damage attack. It has a potency of 95 and a max boost. She recasts this ability. Her third attack is an SP cost of 53 that goes to 42. It's a 1-hit AoE dark elemental damage attack that exploits dagger. It's again a potency of 95 and a maxed boost. This becomes a 4-hit AoE. And finally, her last attack, it's an SP cost of 98. It's a 5-hit random target dark elemental damage attack with dagger, potency of 30. And if you're up against a single target, this gets a 20% more potency. And at 6 stars, this becomes a 6-hitter. For her EX skill, it's only after using her ultimate, she gets 2 usages per battle. She goes first, and then she inflicts an AoE Dark Weakening 2 to 5 times based on the boost level. Then she gives all allies a 20% elemental attack and a 30% dark damage up, along with a 30,000 damage cap up for 2 turns. Next, we have her ultimate. At level 1 to level 10, it's an 8-hit random target elemental dark elemental attack that exploits dagger damage. This has low chance to lower dark resist at 10% at level 1 and 15% at level 10 with each hit by 1 turn. For her notable support skills, her first one is a SP cost of 29. It's a 15% AoE elemental defense down 2 to 5 turns based on the boost level, and also inflicts a dark weakening for 3 times. Her second ability is an SP cost of 68. She gives a elemental attack and dark damage of all allies by 20%, 2 to 5 turns based on boost level. Her second ability is an SP cost of 68. She gives all allies a elemental attack and dark damage up 20%, 2 to 5 turns based on boost level. Then lastly, her TP skill, which is a SP cost of 42. She inflicts a AoE Dark Weakening 2 to 5 times based on the boost level, and also allows all allies to act first the next turn, and then she moves herself to the back row. Now for her passive. For her first one, whenever she switches to the back row, she gives the front row an ability to lower shield points by an additional 1 point when using dark attacks to hit dark weakness. Her second passive, while in the front row, she increases Dark's active and passive cap damage up from 30% to 50%, and also gives the front row a damage cap up of 30,000. For her third passive, she gives herself a 15% elemental attack and dark damage up, and she's able to crit with elemental attacks. And then she has a 10% in dark resistance and 20 on light. Taking a look at her stats, Mommy Tatloch has the highest elemental attack for all the thieves in the game at 486 at level 120. She does somewhat get a thief's speed, but she's on the lower end at 433 at level 120. So she'll probably be acting mid-turn, depending on who you bring along. So now the main question, should you pull? Before anything else, are you also going to be pulling for Emil from the near collaboration, or a certain EX OCTOPATH 2 traveler? If not, then she's a potential skip. If you are, then Mommy Tatloch and Emil are going to be the bestest of friends. These two are the definition of making Dark great again. Mommy Tatloch as the Dark Enabler, and Emil as the Dark Elemental Destroyer. Before we get lost in the sauce for future travelers, let's head back to Mommy Tatloch. Her passive is unique, that it provides a +1 shield shaver if your front row is using dark attacks to hit dark weaknesses. To enemies that are innately weak to dark, this is absolutely amazing, and you'll quickly see those shields disappear. She also gives the front row a dark elemental damage cap up to 50% for both active and passive. This is still one of a kind, and as we already don't have enough elemental love in this game, any sort of elemental attribute increase is fantastic to have. Then when it comes to her battle skills, for general use against enemies that can be inflicted with the weakness implant, it's her skill of applying 3 times the dark weakening and then a 3-hit dark elemental attack. She then will recast this ability if it's at max boost. This is essentially triple wide burst, but twice, as recall that weakness implants allow you to break shields. Her best breaking ability, except for her ultimate, is her 6-hit. Originally, it was 5 hits, but at 6 stars, it gains another hit. While it's not great, it's still somewhat decent, as it doesn't require any sort of prerequisites. And then the only downfall is that this attack is a random target attack. The next major downfall is the fact that she doesn't perform well at both attacking and inflicting weakness implants. To use her full potential, once Emil comes out, she becomes a full-time sub-elemental DPS. Her dark weakness implants are from her EX skill, where she slaps a 5-time dark weakening at max boost along with damage increase to your allies, and then her TP skill, which also does a 5-time dark weakening, all while letting all your allies go first the next turn. So essentially putting everything all together, she's a good dark elemental implant sub DPS, but as stated before, if you're not planning to pull for Emil with a certain EX cleric in the future, then she's a good skip. Next, we have her A4 accessory. It's a 142 elemental attack and also raises dark damage and also inflicted 9-time dark weakening. This is a decent accessory. It's a nice fat 142 elemental attack and of course the dark weakening, but the fact that it's only a dark weakening passive severely limits its usability. As we move forward, again, physical damage is still very much the way to go. Now to those who are perhaps thinking about getting this accessory for characters that can exploit dark, for example Hero, he'll be able to help shave shields, but he won't be getting that bonus damage multiplier, as recall that Pyro's damage is still considered physical dagger damage. So again, this accessory is nice to have, but I wouldn't chase it. She's a limited time seasonal traveler. Anyways, moving on, longevity. She is the only traveler in the game who is able to inflict dark weakness implants, if my memory serves me. This by itself makes her decent to have, but again and again, physical damage is still the way forward. Also, if you didn't get OG Tatloch and you pull for her EX version, you will also get her Keeper as a bonus. But with that, let's go ahead and finish up. To their design 4 out of 5, Mommy Tatloch still looks just as good as the first time you saw her, and I'm still shipping both her and Bargello together. Let's make it happen, COTC. PA 5 out of 5. I like Shinon, but it's great to see her as Tatloch as well too. Abilities 3.5 out of 5. She functions mainly as a sub dark elemental DPS. Longevity 3.5 out of 5. She is an enabler for potential dark elemental attackers that we get in the future. Level buff 0 out of 5. Shitageni. Time limited. With the revised settings 0.5 out of 5, as she is a summer traveler and she's in her own separate banner. Overall impression 3.5 out of 5. Not bad. She would be much better if COTC had more love for elemental attackers. But with that said though, she again is our very first introduction to weakness implants, and because of that, if you had to choose between her or EX Bargello, I would choose her, as she could have a potential use in the far future. Anyways, I'll be doing a few pulls for her as well. If we get lucky, we'll try for her A4 accessory. Let me know if you'd be pulling for her. Again, she is not so much of a must-have traveler, but in a similar case as EX Bargello, nice to have. Okay, well that was it for EX Tatloch. I'll catch you next time. Take care of yourself. Lad out.